Yo, Bo, welcome to another. Oh, look at this. 2 days in a row with MightyFan. This is like a double shot of MightyFan. This is a scary thing, I'll tell you. But I am doing a vehicle vlog today on the way. Usually when I do this going to a sporting event, it's to a Phillies game, but we're going to a Flyers game tonight, and it's not just any Flyers game, it's dollar dog night at the Flyers game, because the Phillies have renounced dollar dog. They're no longer going to be doing dollar dog nights because the Phillies fans can't handle dollar dog nights. There were too many hot dogs being thrown onto the field last year. Only in Philadelphia this happened. So they renounced dollar dog night. Instead, it's going to be BOGO dog night, where it's buy $1, get one free for $5. And actually, which way do I want to go? I don't even know which way I want to go. This is bad. I should have thought of this earlier. So, you know what? I am going the wrong way. I got to turn around. Good thing I'm going a little early. So the Flyers, a few days later, announced that they're going to have a dollar dog night. And hopefully, the Philly fans aren't throwing the dogs onto the ice tonight. I was telling my boss earlier today, I said, remember how, back in the day, the Florida Panther fans threw those plastic rats onto the ice every time the Panthers scored a goal? Wouldn't it be interesting if tonight the Flyer fans throw hot dogs onto the ice every time the Flyers score a goal? I'm like, you know what? I'm not throwing any hot dogs because, as you might understand, I do enjoy my food, and I'm not throwing my food. Apparently, though I don't remember this, I started a food fight back in my days in kindergarten. But anymore, I don't throw the food. I consume the food. I eat my food. And the hot dogs are really good. They really do good hot dogs at the Wells Fargo and at the Citizens Bank Park. They're just too good. I would never throw a hot dog. They get thrown down my, I consume them. I don't, that's as far as it goes with me. So I'm not going to be throwing any hot dogs onto the ice, even regardless of what happens tonight. If Flyer fans, in order to, get their hot dog throwing mess out of the system, throw them onto the ice, and the Flyers announce later we're never having another dollar dog night again, I will not be one of those Philly fans throwing hot dogs onto the ice. First of all, my seats are too high up. I don't even think I can get a dog past the level I'm on, to be honest. I mean, I'm not saying I have a noodle arm, but I'm saying that, I don't really trust myself to even be able to get the dog past the second tier of seats of which I'll be sitting in. I like sitting up high at hockey games. I sit up high at the Phillies games too, but you can see everything. It's to me, it's just more bang for the buck. You can see all the plays developing. It's just the sight line is really good. So usually if I go to a Flyers game, I sit up in the second tier section, and I try to get a seat that's at one of the ends, so you can see the whole ice. It's just a really good sight line of the game. I mean, people spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars to sit down low. I think that's the worst place to sit for a hockey game, because you can see what's going on your end of the ice, but the other end of the ice, it's forget about it, particularly if you're near the benches, because then the players stand up and the coaches are always up. It's like, to me, that's like a waste of money. But you do with your money what you want. I do with my money what I want. So, another beautiful day. Yesterday it was in the 60s. Today it was in the 60s. I guess it's in about the 50s right now. The rest of the week is looking like rain, which I'm glad it's warmer, because otherwise it would all be snow. And I'd much rather it just be rain. We've gotten so spoiled over the recent years. It hasn't snowed that much. This year we got more snow than last year. I almost want to say we got more snow this year with one storm of about 6-7 inches than we got all of last year. Then we had a week where it snowed twice. And after that week, I said, I'm good with this now. We don't need any more snow. We got the snow out of the system. I'm okay. I have no plans on moving to Buffalo anytime soon. I don't need it. I'm good. It's fun. Maybe once or twice to get a little snow. That's all. No, we don't need to be bombarded. So anyhow, it's going to be a nice week, sans for the rain. But today is a nice day. Today's probably the best day of the week. I don't know. I was sitting there at work, talking things over a little with my boss. I'm like, it's Dollar Dog. I forgot it was tonight. I thought it would be next Monday against Rez and Bay Area's San Jose Sharks. I thought about going to that game if that one was Dollar Dog night, but instead it's tonight against St. Louis. So I'm like, I don't know. You know what? How often am I going to have a chance to get to a Dollar Dog night at a Flyers game? Let me go. And it could be an historic night in not a great way if the Flyer fans decide to do what those Phillies fans were doing last year, bombard the... I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, look, anytime anything happens here, we get all the rap. Although things like that happen everywhere, every stadium. If you combine alcohol and sports, usually things are going to happen. But if one thing happens in Philly, we're the bad people. Look at them. All right, I got plenty of examples of things happening in every other stadium in the country, but we're the ones that, but them. Those heathens. So I decided to go. I decided, there's not a lot of home games left. There's like 10 home games left. The Flyers are in playoff positioning right now. And they're third in the Metro Division. And the teams below them don't want to win unless they play the Flyers. When they play the Flyers, they win. When they don't play the Flyers, they seem to lose a lot. So I think we might hold that third seed. Or that third spot in the Metro. I don't remember exactly where that would put us in the playoffs. I know this Friday's also the trade deadline. I mean, I'm kind of hoping the Flyers, even though they're in playoff positioning, if they get, offered a deal that's too good to pass up on a Scott Lawton or a Walker or Sealer, okay, let them go for first-round picks or whatever, or maybe a pick and a prospect, because it's about building. It's about getting that draft capital. Listen, this season has been a gravy kind of year. The team's playing better than expected. They're playing over their heads probably, but better than expected. They're in a playoff spot. But I still think it's important that they have, and I do believe they realize that this is still a rebuild. This is still something that you have to build. They're not there with those other teams. And every time they play some of those other teams, you can kind of see it, right? The high-end talent just isn't there. It's a scrappy team. It's a team that plays pretty good defense. They're good at the penalty kill. They're horrible on the power play. They score more when they're killing penalties than when they're on a power play. They have a couple nice players. They don't have a ton of snipers. They still need pieces. And maybe some of the pieces are still in the lower, the minor leagues or over in Russia or whatever that are going to be here. But you still need to build, and they still need to get that talent out of the drafts, for the next few years. Maybe a few free agents here and there. But I'm perfectly fine with, okay, I think, honestly, the perfect situation the rest of the season is the Flyers do trade one of those guys and they still make the playoffs, because then you give your young players some playoff experience. And, you know, even if you lose, you know, I don't know, to the Rangers or whoever it would be in the first round in like 6 games, let's say, maybe you have a good showing, maybe you steal a game or 2 or something like that, but you still have some experience, and, you know, that's good going forward. And then, you know, but you get some draft capital by making a move or 2 at the deadline, and, you know, moving on from players who probably aren't going to be part of your future anyhow. And, you know, if a team like Edmonton or Toronto or, you know, Boston or Tampa, you know, they feel like these are the kind of guys that are going to put them over the top. And let's face it, some of these players are. If you look at those teams that win with the high-end talent, you know, there are players like a Scott Laughton on their team, or a Walker or Seal, or guys that they bring in at the deadline who kind of, you know, they're not the household names, but they just put them over the top to win the cup, you know, or at least get to the cup finals. And the Flyers have those kind of players. And the Flyers are not going to be a team in the Cup Finals this year. So if you can move some of those players and still make the playoffs and still have a successful season and start your rebuild on a good note, I still think it's a great year as far as I'm concerned. But it depends. Obviously, if teams aren't willing to give you, you know, what the Flyers would like for these players, I'm not saying just give them away. But if you can get a first-round pick or a second round and a prospect or something like that, and okay, if it means moving some of these guys that probably, like I said, aren't going to be part of the future, do what you got to do. You know, go ahead, Danny. Do what you got to do. The spotlight's on you now. So we'll see. But I'm just glad, you know, as a fan, I'm just glad we're having you know, they're showing signs of life, which is more than I could say for the previous regime and all those seasons of just dreck. Where the stadium was taken over by Ranger fans and Bruin fans last year, when, you know, it's both of them lost in the first round. See? You get Chesney and Philly, things happen. That's all I'm saying. Niner fans had to learn that in the Super Bowl this year. I told you about rooting for Dallas. I said that's bad mojo. That's going to come back. Yeah, it did. It took till the Super Bowl, but it came back. I'm sticking to it. I don't care. Yeah, the Chiefs are a dynasty, but they rooted for Dallas. See? Bad things happen. Bad things. I warned them. No? They would. They thought it was all jokes. It almost happened in the divisional round, but the Packers gave it up. Then it almost happened in the NFC title game, but the Lions gave it up. But the Super Bowl, that's where it happened. I didn't want to repost this on Instagram. I almost did, but I have too many friends that are Niner fans that would probably feel a certain way if I did. I mean, I would have gotten a comment from Angel like that as soon as I posted it. Like 2 seconds later, he would have been, "Oh yeah, your Eagles still stunk this season." Yeah, well, you know, what can I do? I've seen a Super Bowl in recent years, though. I mean, you know, I do have that. You know, but E-Rock, shout out to E-Rock, always does wonderful things for Eagles fans, social media, Instagram, and whatnot. See, the Niner fans wanted to poke the bear. It's not a good idea. This is the wrong fan base to try to start a war with. I said it before, that there's certain things in life maybe you don't do, and messing with the Philly fans, it's not a good idea, because we don't forget anything. We remember everything. So, you know, they had their fun with us in the regular season. They won the game. They were all chesty about it. Blah, blah, blah. Look at us. Look at us. Look at you. All right. We remember. So E-Rock. E-Rock put up this little bit that he did. And it was... And it was... Why can 49er fans only work 40 hours during the week? Because they're not good at overtime. It's just one of the little jabs the Eagle fans had for the Niner fans this year. I didn't say it. That was E-Rock. I'm repeating it. But, hey, nothing but love, though. Nothing but love for the Niner fans, right? I know Rez, Bay Area Angel, Azor, all you got. Oh, believe me, it's nothing but love. But you guys had your fun. But the tax man collects. Remember that we keep the receipts around here. Believe me. And as the Niner fan, as the faithful learned after that Super Bowl, we remember, and you're gonna hear it from us. If your team screws up, you're gonna hear it from us. Oh my goodness. Not that I want to start wars with, the faithful. I mean, they're I have friends that are part of that community, but the faithful fan base, right? But I remember things. Things are said. I keep it stored up, and things happen to your team. Well, you might hear something from me. I've been good though. I haven't really. I haven't said a lot. I've actually been, very supportive, and but I did think that was funny for me, Rock. This they can't handle overtime. Oh my goodness, come on. That was a good one. Even Niner fans have to admit that was a pretty good little rib there. Hey, come on, the Chiefs were your buddies last year, though. When we lost, they were your buddies last year. Okay. Yeah, we remembered that, too. Oh, my goodness. I gotta close the windows because I don't know if the sound quality is so good. I gotta take these glasses off, too. Ooh, the popo. So... anyhow, I'm getting all off topic here. So anyhow, I'm on my way to the game. I'm wearing my Philadelphia Firebirds jersey because we are in the month of March. As we know, it's St. Patrick's Day coming up. I don't have a St. Patrick's Day themed Flyers jersey, so this is as close as it's going to get. I actually bought this many years ago at the Mitchell & Ness store, believe it or not. It's not a Mitchell & Ness jersey either. They had it on a sale rack. And it was during the famous Father's Day sale that they had years ago, where they had these jerseys in the clearance room, and it was a make an offer rack. Anything on the rack, you made an offer, and it was cash only though. It was no credit cards, but I think I walked out of there with like 11 jerseys, and I think I paid it was cheap. It was like a lot. It was something crazy. And it was also because they kept it going. They kept that deal going. I remember I walked in there once and I got the what did I get? I keep forgetting if it was one of the Marx brothers. I keep forgetting if it was Duper or Clayton. I got that thing for like $30. I saw it in a box, and I grabbed it out of the box, and that's all the cash I had on me, and they accepted it because it was a jersey, a player they didn't have the rights to anymore. They had to move the stuff. It was an older run jersey too, so it wasn't even one of their China or something, So. Yeah, it was basically whatever you... That was crazy, that sale. Of course, they never had it again. That was like a one-time, if you know kind of thing. But this was one of the jerseys I got from that deal, that Father's Day, from that rack. They had like authentic Reebok Flyers jerseys. They had a bunch of like good stuff, but they didn't have the rights to it, so they removed it. And some cases like this jersey and those Flyers, it wasn't their brand. So, but they had it, from years ago. Because they used to. Now this was before I went to the store, but they did used to carry like authentic you know, obviously Mitchell & Ness mainly, but they also carried like authentic, you know, Reebok NFL jerseys or, you know, hockey jerseys or what have you. And so, yep. So, you know, I have to open up a window so the windows are getting a little fogged. On my way over to the Wells Fargo Center in South Philly, I think I'm going to take Broad Street down there. I thought about going down 95, but I figure I'm going to hit traffic anyway. I might as well just go into Schuylkill for a little bit and then get onto Market Street, then Broad Street, and go down that way. I'm going to hit traffic no matter what. It doesn't matter this time of day. It's a weekday. It's a Monday. Okay, this guy wants to get in front of me without a turn signal. Apparently, Fords don't have turn signals now these days. I mean, it must be something new. It's like something they're cutting costs. I don't know. It's like Nike with the smaller, you know, font numbers and letters. And they brought the MLB Batterman down. I know they're taking a lot of heat, and I've seen some of the videos, and people are just absolutely, you know, blasting them, and rightfully so. The jerseys look terrible for baseball. It's just they look like a youth jersey. It doesn't make any sense. And I understand Fanatics is coming under fire too. I mean, they're Nike jerseys. I don't know how much a hand in those jerseys Fanatics had. I mean, I know they're selling them, but yeah, it's, listen, I mean, I know I spoke about it, and obviously the Authentics, there's no more chain stitching for like the Phillies. Someone said in the comment that the Cardinals still have the chain stitching, although the application of it is completely different. It doesn't look as good. I mean, you know, and again, I already did my video on it, but you know, my way of thinking of this is, I mean, I'm not going to buy it. I mean, the only one I probably will get, and I have to be honest, is the City Connect, because anytime a Philly team has a new jersey, you know, I tend to get it. So I'd be lying if I said I'll never buy from Nike again, because I will. I probably will get that jersey. It's a special jersey. It's a special edition, rather, jersey, and I want to, you know, have as many of those in my collection as I can for the Philly teams. The only other way I would get one is if the Phillies make it to the World Series, you know, they win the World Series, something like that. But, you know, I'm not going to go out of my way to go out and get the new Nike jerseys. No, it's not aesthetically pleasing. I don't like the smaller letters and number. I don't get that. I don't understand why they thought that was a good idea. Who thought that was a good idea? Obviously, they're not jersey heads. They're, you know, people who probably shouldn't be designing jerseys, to be honest. And I understand. I mean, listen, you know, the collectors are worried because of what the Fanatics hockey jerseys are going to be. And I understand the concerns. I really do. Now, I'm not a hater of the Fanatic branded jerseys. I'm not. I would be lying if I said I was. I have Fanatic branded hockey jerseys. I like them. They're comfortable. I haven't run into the problem of when you wash them, things fall apart, or if you get them, they have defects. I haven't run into that. Not to say I never will. I get it. I understand. Yeah, they're heat pressed, and it's the same problem people have with the Blue Line collection for Mitchell & Ness. And they're heat pressed. Why aren't they stitched? Or why are they $200? You know, and I get it. But to me, if I know aesthetically there's an issue with the jersey, I'm more interested in, all right, so some of the jerseys, the color's off. I'm not going to buy those because that's too much of an issue for me. But the heat pressing versus the stitching, to me, I don't mind it as much. I understand where people do. I'm in the mindset that the hockey jerseys, the authentics, the quality of those have pretty much gone down since the early 2000s anyhow. I mean, the old, the starter, the CCM, the old Nike jerseys, whatever it was, there were many different companies that made them, and they made them the best. I mean, I can even take like a starter replica jersey and put it against the Adidas Authentic today and say, I mean, the starter. I mean, that's just, it's a better looking jersey, you know? I'm not a hater of Adidas. I have Adidas jerseys, Authentics. But, this has been going on for a while now. And I understand. It's Fanatics. A lot of people hate Fanatics. There's just a hatred for it, right? The quality isn't as good, and you're still paying I wouldn't say a premium dollar for the Fanatics branded stuff. It is more than it used to be. But at the same point, everything's more than it used to be. Hats are more than they. I remember going to Lids and buying fitted hats for $25 retail. Now they're near damn $50 each, $60 in some cases. And on some sites, it's without shipping. Then you're paying extra on shipping. So everything's going to go up. I mean, that's just what it is. That's retail. I mean, that's not unique to one company or another. You're going to pay more for whatever you buy. Food, you pay more for whatever you buy. Electronics, you pay more for whatever you buy. That's just the way of life. I'm not saying that to put these companies off the hook, but that's the world we live in. I mean, we can complain until we're blue in the face about the price for things, but that's just how it is. Again, I'm not saying it's right. I'm a consumer. I don't like the certain prices of certain things, and a lot of times if I don't like the price, I don't buy it. I wait for the sales. I wait for the deals. There's more than enough of them out there. Now, some stores have more sales than others. It wouldn't hurt Rally House to have a few more sales here and there, but their deal is they don't. Which is weird because I think they're run by Fanatics too. Mitchell & Ness has a lot of sales. They have a lot of deals. They give me, the consumer, an availability to buy their product. Now, you can say, well, the product isn't what it was. And I can tell you, absolutely, yeah, it's not. I have so many of their older run stuff. I know what it is. I know the quality of back then, the Peter years, compared to the quality of stuff now. And in some cases, some of the newer run stuff's better than the older run stuff. The cut of it, the look of it. Some of it's not as boxy as some of the jerseys were back in the day for the NBA. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cases where the older run stuff's better. And, once every few months, we're going to have someone in our Jersey Head community post on one of the groups, what do you guys think of the product today? Why can't they make stuff like they did back in the mid-2000s? We had someone just like that put that question out there on the Mitchell & Ness Appreciator group just this past week. And I'm like, oh man, here we go again. It never goes away. And it's almost like people just want to start stuff by putting that out there. But, listen, I mean, if we can go back, right, if we can just change these companies, you have to make things the way they were. But, anymore, that's just unfortunate. That's the unfortunate reality of what it is today, right? In some ways, things today are much better than they were in the early to mid-2000s. Electronics are better. There's more platforms to do things the way I'm doing right now with YouTube. These different companies got better with things. We have smartphones. We have everything that's one click away. Sometimes that's bad, but right? Everything's easier today than it was back in the early to mid-2000s. You stream movies, you stream shows, you can just binge watch things. I mean, you couldn't do that back then. What's binge watching back then? You had to wait every week for something to come on TV to watch it. And yeah, it was simpler back then, right? But things change. And again, I'm not saying, listen, people who complain about it, you have your right to complain. Go for it. I mean, that's what platforms like YouTube's all about. I'm one that just believes that my mindset is if I like it, I buy it. If I don't, I don't. And that's just how it is for me, for MightyFan, you know? That's how it is. If I like something and I can afford it, I buy it. If I don't like it, if it doesn't jive with me, I stay away. I put that money towards something that I want more. You know, and as it comes to the Fanatics branded, you know, when they take over for hockey, you know, we'll see. I'm not expecting great things. I'm not going into this saying, oh, but you know, it could be like that. No, I'm kind of expecting it to not be the greatest, or maybe be somewhat similar to what they're doing now. Now, that's going to upset people. And their jerseys might be good. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen one yet, besides the obvious, the Fanatic branded jerseys that they sell now. I haven't seen any authentic what it's going to be. It could be a great thing. It could be terrible. I don't know. And if it's terrible and I just don't like it, I'll just go after the old stuff. That's the way I feel about baseball. The more they botch this stuff and Nike kind of does whatever the stuff that they're doing, just makes me want to get the older stuff. And there's plenty of that out there to get. You know, in life, there's way too much other things out there to be worried about and complain about. And I get it. You know, we do this collecting as an escape. and then we get to the point that these brands, you know, put this stuff out there. So now we have to feel a certain way about that too, about our passion. And that's why we feel the way we do about it. I get it. But I don't know. And again, I'm not trying to take these companies off the hook, but the way I feel is, it's, you know, again, if I like it, I buy it. If I don't, it doesn't get my money, and that's just how I am, you know. But you have a right to your opinion. I saw Jake made a video. I saw other people make videos. Red's been posting stuff on social media. I get it, you know. Hey, you have a right to do that, you know. But I said my piece about it, you know, in that video, my you know, displeasures about it, and pretty much that's where it's going to be. Believe me, my team is one of the teams that got affected by it with the Phillies. No more chain stitching, the numbers and letters. It's a lesser product. It really is. But again, I'll just look for the older stuff or custom stuff or, you know, things like that. Like I said, I will get the City Connect jersey, and if they make it to the World Series, I mean, I will get that. You know, that's an achievement. That's one of those things. I get the jerseys for that, you know. But I probably won't be doing what I wanted to do some years ago and what I started doing some years ago. Whoever wins the World Series get that, you know, commemorative jersey. I don't think I'll do that, because the jersey I just don't think is worth going. If it's not my Phillies, it just isn't worth it, really. So I did that for a few years. I didn't get the Astros because they beat my Phillies, but I was thinking about the Rangers. But then, you know, you see these jerseys, like, yeah, I don't know. Oh my goodness. 30th Street Station. The Philly Captain just did a video here not long ago showing the inside of 30th Street in his scoot around town. Maybe I'll see them tonight, you know. You never know where the crew's going to show up. It is Dollar Dog Night, and I know they did the Wings game the other day. I still have to really watch that whole video, but Philly Captain put out a video where they were at the Wings game. He's a big Wings fan. And they did a Dollar Dog Night at the Wings game. And he posted recently a video for a St. Patrick's Day parade. So I still have to watch that one too. Don't worry, Philly Captain. I'll catch up. Don't. Speaking of catching up, I'm glad people enjoyed my last video. I guess the redo of the restart, I guess, and the recatalog of the collection. The way I look at it, I'm probably going to do, I'll probably do one video a month for it, one rack a month, I think. It's a lot. I mean, believe me, when you have a collection like mine, you know, just going through one rack, as you saw in that video, it's a lot. It's a lot to go through, and here's this jersey, that jersey. I don't mind doing it. I like doing it. I want to do it because I want to catalog the collection. It's really the easiest way to do it. But I don't think I could do more than, particularly when it gets warmer. I think my plan is that probably at some point in April, I'll do the other rack of baseball upstairs. And then after that, I'll start doing the stuff down in the basement, down in the man cave area, I should say. Just pick one rack every month. Football's down there, and I got, you know, the authentic baseball, my Philly and the Philly teams. So I'll probably just do that while we're in the warmer months. It's not as hot up there, down there, I should say. And then once we start getting back into the fall and whatnot, I'll head back, start doing some more videos up in the second floor where I keep all the rest of the, you know, the hockey's up there, the basketball's up there, and I'll just do it that way. So I think I have a game plan for this. But it's something I do want to revisit once every, you know, 4 or 5 years, as long as I'm still collecting, because, you know, you add, things accumulate, and what was the collection 4 or 5 years ago has grown. So, yeah, we needed to do an update. But I'm glad people enjoy those videos. It is. I mean, it's fun to kind of look back at them too and see the jerseys, and you know, it's it's like a memory lane kind of thing. Like, oh yeah, I have these, and yeah, it's cool to have these in the collection, right? It also kind of gives people a look at the stuff that Mitchell & Ness has made over the years, or whatever other brands, right? Some authentic jerseys, right? But for Mitchell & Ness, at least, you know, you get to see the older run stuff. You get to see, oh yeah, this is the stuff that they made years ago. You know, it's like a history lesson in a way, where you can kind of say, oh yeah, they did these. Oh wow, you know, never knew they did that one, or boy, this one's hard to find, or, you know, okay, well, they reissued this one, you know, kind of thing. Here's the original. Like I showed you that in the video, the two different Nolan Ryan 1980 Astros jerseys. Of course, the difference being the front, where the original run was stitched, not supposed to be, you know, historically accurate. So then they did it again many years later, and they heat pressed the front, which it should be. And they did Jose Cruz too. I didn't get that one. Figured I don't need both. You know, just one's good enough. Oh. But it's fun. You know, it's fun to do those videos. It's work. It is. But it's fun to do them. And like I said, I will revisit it once every 4 or 5 years, as long as I have to. And I don't think I'll be stopped collecting, at least anytime too soon. There's probably going to be a time, you know, it eventually, right? It's going to have to, if I just don't have any space to put anything. But we're not quite there just yet, but I'm sure there's going to come a time, and it's going to be sad. It's going to be one of those things where it's like, yeah, I don't want to stop, but I'm not going to get one of those storage pods or storage units. That's not what I'm going to do. So we'll see. Oh my. The trash truck that just kind of stopped right there. Well, I guess they're picking up some trash. So how many dollar dogs is MightyFan going to consume tonight? I think it's at the absolute max probably no more than 3 or 4. That I like them, but boy, if you eat too many. I did tell my boss today, though. I told him, I said, I think that the one is dollar pretzel night, because so it's soft pretzels, right? You can't really consume a lot of those. It's too much dough. You would have problems after, like, if you had like 3, 4, 5. I'm not speaking from experience. I think I went to a dollar pretzel night once. It was at a Wings game. I think it was last year at my buddy Mark M. And I could only eat 2. Because they're filling, right? You eat these soft pretzels and it's a lot of dough, you know, so it sticks to the ribs. So that would be like the challenging one for some of these people who like to really want to really consume, right? And believe me, there's people that can consume food. I mean, Big Slim and I marvel at this guy Joel Hansen on YouTube. Oh my God, this guy. And he's like, all these eaters, you know, it amazes. It's this metabolism, and I know they practice at it, because we talk about practice, right? It's their life, right? Like me with the jersey collecting, right? That's all they do. They train their body to eat. But if you look at these like eaters, they all look like fitness models, like the men and women. They're all like bodybuilders and like the real fit looking, and they consume all this food. And I know that like food could like calorie consumption, and in a way it kind of makes sense, because calorie consumption and bodybuilding kind of goes hand in hand. Not that I know from experience. That's bad Baywatch if I get on stage. But you know, but you see these people, like, every now and then, like, I do like bodybuilding, like I have kind of an interest in that sport. Always have, since when I was young with the Pumping Iron movie, you know, Arnold and Lou. And so I do subscribe to some of the you know, the amateurs, right? And they'll do these videos about the food, and it's always about the food, about the meal prep, about this, that, and they put the stuff on the scale. Now, they're not eating the way these competitive eaters eat, but food has it's like a big part of the life, like big, like what they do. It's food and gym. And so it just is. I have a buddy who wants to be a bodybuilder, and he's, you know, working at it, but he does a meal prep every week, and he, you know, he's about the life, and I believe me, I support him. I'm like, I hope you know, achieve your goals, but I just know there's no way I could ever do anything along those lines. I don't have the discipline for it. I just don't. So shout out to people who do. It's a lifestyle that is not one that I could live, but then again, people see my lifestyle and they're like, I can't do that. 1,000+ jerseys, there ain't no way. But no, but these eaters, man, it's like Slim, and we just marvel at it. Like like Slim, you know, we're watching these like YouTube videos, right? And they always do collabs with these other competitive eaters. And like Slim will we'll see this, like, whatever this, right? This woman's eating with them, right? Real attractive, in shape woman, and Slim will like pull up the Instagram, like, look at her. Can you see her as someone that's going to eat 20 burgers at one sitting? But man, they have the metabolism, and they work out all the time, and they're able to do it. I don't know how. I don't know where they put it. They find a way. But yeah, so we're on Broad Street now. We're getting there. So yeah, I'm glad people enjoyed that video. You know, the restart of the cataloging. It's fun. It's work, you know, but it's fun. And comes a fire truck. But I, you know, it's something, like I said, I'll probably revisit doing it every 4 or 5 years. And, you know, as long as I keep collecting, that's what I'll do. I'll tell you what, man, going here tonight, it just makes me that much more look forward to the baseball season. Because sometimes I'll come this way to go to the Phillies games. I can't wait. Get back to the ballpark. Today was kind of a bittersweet day in Philly, sports-wise, because Jason Kelce retired. Of course, the longtime Eagle center, his brother, of course, Travis, and he called it a career, and it was a very emotional, press conference he gave, and I don't think he forgot anyone to thank, but he was one of those all-time Eagles, and of course the speech after the Super Bowl and the Mummers outfit, and here's a guy who persevered. When he came up, he wasn't exactly the most fan favorite for centers. He made a lot of mistakes, and the fans, they got on him, but he persevered it. He got better, and he used that as the motivation to keep getting better and play better in front of these fans, and he became an all-time Eagle. So it's sad to see his career come to an end. And kind of figured it was going to be. I wish they had a better year for him last year. But he'll be missed. He'll definitely be missed. He'll be in the Hall of Fame someday as an Eagle, obviously. I'm sure it'll be a big pilgrimage of Eagle fans going there to Canton for his induction. Probably quite a few of them in Mummer outfits. But also the Phillies extended Zach Wheeler's contract for 3 more years. So it was like the sad and the good, right? And there's still talk that the Phillies might be going after Mr. Snell or Mr. Montgomery. So they could be adding another pitcher before the start of the season. I think they should, particularly if they can get the pitcher at a good deal, like a 1-year kind of prove it kind of deal. Kind of like the Cubs did with Bellinger last year, and then he re-signed with the Cubs, right? You wait and get these guys later because they're Boris clients. So you wait until you can get them at just the right deal. It's like playing a Russian roulette game, but the Phillies have done it and other teams have done it. And so now maybe you can get one of those pitchers at a, kind of a 1-year prove it kind of deal, but it works out good for the team, right? So that might be the next step for the Phillies. Well, we'll see. I'd much rather see Snell or Montgomery out there than Taijuan Walker. So we'll see. We'll see if that does come to fruition as the weeks go on here. But I'm sure if they get signed, it will be soon. Because right? Just a few more weeks left until the season. They have to get some sort of work. And I know they've been working out and whatever, but they have to get some sort of action, right, in the preseason or the spring training rather. So we'll see. The Phillies are one of the teams involved, so hey, pedal to the metal. I'm glad that they're one of those teams that they seem to want to do whatever it's going to take to win it. Hasn't happened since 2008, but I think going for it, getting players. Not to say it's always going to work out that way. I still want to see them get better at scouting in Latin America and Asia and get some of those players here. It would be good. I know they have like a handshake agreement with Ronald Acuna Jr.'s brother, but he's too young. So, to officially sign with a team. But we'll see, right? We always get the wrong brother, though. It's always like we got, Mike Maddox and, Maddox rather, and whatever the brother that doesn't really equate to much, we seem to get that brother on the team. Philly's like notorious for that. I think the Phillies at one point had Joe DiMaggio's brother. Yeah, I know. I haven't really heard of him either, but he was a Philly. No, he didn't have quite to hear that the career that good old Joe had, but but he was a Philly. Oh my goodness. But I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to the season. I'm looking forward to getting back to the ballpark. And going to pass the ballpark here not too long from here. Get over Wells Fargo. Flyers versus the Blues. $1 dog night at the Flyers game. This is either going to be the greatest idea or the worst thing that they could have done. Either way, we're going to find out tonight. Hey, we really have been treated to 2 nice days, though. I know it's overcast today, but it couldn't have asked for better weather. Sans for the overcast, but I don't mind overcast. It's funny, I think I may have said this before. When I was visiting Slim, this is the last time I visited with him. We were coming back from a mall. We were walking in the parking lot, and it was cold. And I'm like, I'm talking, and because we walked that parking lot last year when it was really hot. And I told Slim, I said, oh, I'll take the cold. Give me this. I don't want to walk this. And I can't take the heat, but give me this cold, baby. Give me this cold. I can deal with this. Now, if it's bitter cold, that's where it gets, interesting. But no, I'd rather it cold and crisp. Not overly cold, but just a nice little crispness in the air over heat any day of the year. No, the heat, that's not for me. But this, like today, this weather, this is perfect. If we could just get more of this. Oh my goodness. Yes, on Broad Street, in the middle of the street, we have cars that park. That's just one of the things that happens here. I don't think I can park my car in the middle of the street, even if it's legal parking too. I don't think I could do it. I don't think I'm brave enough to do this on a busy street like Broad Street. No, I'm okay. I know you have to. It's like you have to do it, but if you live here and whatnot, but no. Too much of a wuss for that. I couldn't do that. Actually, I think I'm making decent time getting here. The traffic wasn't too bad on the Schuylkill. I think I hit a little more traffic within the city than I hit while on the... and that's odd, because usually the Schuylkill is where you're going to hit the traffic. Oh, my goodness. So yeah, I guess kind of a little impromptu, vehicle vlog here. I didn't expect to be going to any. I found out $1 dog night was tonight. I'm like, should I? Yeah, let's do it. The ticket was pretty cheap. So, like, yeah, I think I can make my way down, have a couple dogs, enjoy a Flyers game, hopefully see a win. Every point's important here from here on out. So, and they have a real tough stretch coming up. They got some, they're going to be playing some big boys coming up. So, every point against teams that you should be beating is important. For the hunt for Orange April. All right, it's not the same as Red October, but Orange April, the new era of Orange April. It's not just Orange April, it's the new era of Orange April. Shout out to my buddy Mark Ebb. We were making plans of when we want to go to our... we usually try to get to at least one Iron Pigs game every year. And they're the AAA affiliate to the Phillies. So we're trying to figure out when to do that. And, I'm sure within the next few weeks we'll nail that down. Couldn't go last year. Tried to get to a game later in the season and it got rained out. So... But this year we will be at Coca-Cola Park for sure, and they're doing so many. They came out with these new uniforms, and they're going to be the Mummers for a game this year. They're doing a Mummers theme this year, which I guess is appropriate with Jason Kelsey's retirement. Maybe he'll throw out the first pitch in the Mummer outfit. You know, that would be appropriate. Iron Pigs, if you're watching. So. But we're trying to get... It's fun to go to a minor league game. If you haven't done it, make sure you do. It's, you know, it's got kind of that old school feel. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of promotions. They do a lot of things, you know, but wacky promotions at times. But it's just a lot of fun, you know. So I do enjoy getting over to Coca-Cola Park to see the Iron Pigs, or going over to Reading to watch the Reading Fightins from time to time. Oh, well, there's the entrance to Citizens Bank Park. I know you can't quite see it, but I'm pointing it. That I take to go to the ballpark when I go to my Phillies games. It's that entrance there off Broad Street. Coming up on the sports complex here. So we got Citizens Bank Park where the Phillies play. You got the Link where the Eagles play in the Wells Fargo Center, where the Flyers, Sixers, and the Philadelphia Wings play, the indoor lacrosse team. But the Flyers play tonight, so the lights are orange. When the Sixers play, they're blue. I don't know if they do lights for the Wings, but they're orange. Orange lights outside the building tonight. Flyers and Blues on a Monday night dollar dog night battle. The Blues are trying to make a playoff push too, so I'm not going to say this is an easy 2 points tonight. You're playing against another desperate team, so, you know, you got to, be ready to play. In fact, the St. Louis Blues could also be the team that triggered the Flyers many, many years ago to create the Bullies. Because the Flyers, back in their infancy, were in the playoffs and they kept getting bullied around by teams like the Blues, who had this big bunch of tough players, and the Flyers just couldn't beat them. And so the Flyers drafted players and got players who had an edge to them. The Watson brothers and Schultze and Clark and all these guys, right, that went on to become all-time great, you know, the Hound, you know, all these players that became all-time great, you know, Flyers. And Ed Snyder famously said, we aren't going to allow this to keep happening. So they built a team that could beat up a team like the Blues and also win the game. Beat them in a series, beat other teams in a series. And the Bullies were born. And so, in part, thanks to the St. Louis Blues, the Flyers had their greatest era of team history and won the back-to-back cups. And yeah, I haven't won it since. It's been 50 years, but, you know, who's counting? Me. But, you know, that's what started it. And I guess, in turn, the Blues, years ago, in a game in Philly, they were at a bar, and they adopted the Gloria song, and they went on to win their cup. So the Flyers and Blues are kind of intertangled intertwined with each other for winning, you know, building a team that's going to win or go on to win a championship or championships. It's kind of interesting how things work out sometimes. So, there's a little history lesson. Honey's got history lessons. There it is. Citizens Bank Park. Oh boy, I can't wait. April 2nd, I'll be there. I believe that's going to be BOGO night for the hot dogs. So that's the first game of my plan this year, my ticket plan. Yep, section 422, row 2, seat 17. That's MightyFan seat. If you ever go to the stadium and you sit there, say hello to the seat, because that's my seat for 16 or 17 games a year, maybe more, depending on what I do. It's a very famous seat because it's MightyFan's seat. It doesn't say it's MightyFan's seat. You wouldn't know. If you passed the seat, you wouldn't know. But that's what it is. It's a very important seat in that stadium because it's my seat and it's important. There's the link. You can't see it, but it's there. Trust me. Yep, Mr. Kelsey will no longer be playing there. He might be there, who knows, as an analyst or something. I'm sure he's going to get in the TV some way, shape, or form. Yeah, very mixed emotion day here in Philly, sports-wise today. The retirement of an all-time great Eagle, the extension of what could be an all-time great Philly. Thanks again, Mets. And, yeah, you know, bittersweet day. And now we're going to see how Dollar Dog Night goes at the Wells Fargo Center. Oh, man, they are lining up. They're ready to get their hot dogs. We want hot dogs and the Flyers win tonight. That's what we want. Not just one. It has to be both. It won't be the same if it's not. How long has this gone on? Oh, a little over an hour. Yeah, I guess it did take a little while to get here. It did seem like it. Boy, that hour flew by. Get my card ready for whatever they're going to gouge me for parking here. Hello.
How you doing?
All right, how are you? Thank you. You too. See, that's another thing that is made much more easier today than we had in the early or mid 2000s, parking. And you just tap the card and you pay. That's it. Boom, done. All right, we got a guy, looks like he's supposed to be working at an airport. He has one of those. Like he was directing airplanes how to come into for a landing. This guy in a Kelly Green Kelsey jersey. I wonder if Mr. Kelsey will be in the building tonight. That would be something if they do a little tribute tonight. All right, should I park here? Yeah, I think I'm gonna park here. Ooh, I can go all the way. Oh, you know what? No, I'm not going to go all the way through because the one guy has to be a jerk off and not park completely in the lane. So we're going to we're going to do the right thing, Spike Lee would say. Well, he's in his lane, but he's like over. He's got an SUV, big one, Suburban. So we're not going to get too close to him, or he's going to come after the game and smash his door into the side of my vehicle. So we're gonna park over. We're gonna play it safe. Then this guy's gonna do it. I'm gonna have a red mark on the side of them. All right. Well, an hour of 5 minutes and 5 minutes of joy as you rode along with me to the Wells Fargo Center for the Flyers versus the Blues Dollar Dog Night at the Wells Fargo Center. And I hope you enjoyed. As always, thanks for joining in with me here. And thanks to all of you for all the support to the channel. Keep it going. There's going to be plenty more action to come from yours truly. What do you always got to do, right? You got to leave those likes. Look, even the faithful. Look, I know. You got to leave the likes, though. I know the Eagles. I know it's starting to become this war. But leave those likes, okay? And make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Hit the bell icon so you're always notified to future content from yours truly. I'm going to go because it's better to get in there early. I'm going to be in line anyhow for those dogs. I'm going to get in there. I'm going to look around at Fan Gear Shop. I'm going to go watch the game. Hopefully we see the win, 2 points tonight. And then we take it from there. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching as always. I'll see you in the next one. Let's go Flyers. And you all take care.